Hello beautiful lovelies and welcome to Hermetic Imp. Today is going to be my first video and I'm going to do a quick little run through of the channel and then I'm going to be diving into our topic today. So Hermetic Imp isn't really going to be anything specific. It's going to be me just being me. I said that in my Facebook video, but I just kind of want to reiterate that here. I keep thinking it's going to be one thing and then it changes and it shifts just like my interests do. So if you're wanting to be here with me in my corner of the internet, you're welcome to be here. And if you see stuff you don't like, then you're welcome to leave. Either way, I appreciate you checking it out. That said, let's get into today's topic. So y'all might be looking at me and be like, Jay, what does it mean to be an exaltation? Jay, what do you mean Virgo Mercury? Jay, please don't tell me everything's going to be astrological content. Look, bear with me for a bit. I promise it'll all make sense. We'll start with exaltation. So exaltation is traditionally it is a traditional astrology approach. And basically, it means the place where a planet feels most itself, most in control of itself, most excited, most imaginative and creative, and it can reach its full potential here in an exaltation. It's an addictified place. It's in a great place that just matches who it is, and it just brings this enthusiasm and this life to the planet. The opposite of exaltation is in fall. So this is like being in an enemy kingdom. So it's like being a prisoner. The planet's not comfortable there. It's like, why am I here? Oh my God, I hate it here. It's terrible. I want to go home. I want nothing to do with this. And that might be not exactly the right definition because I am more of a modern astrologer, but that's how I've come to view it, especially looking at my own chart. Because I have a whole bunch of planets in fall and one little exaltation. And that exaltation is Virgo and Mercury, which is unique because it's in domicile, meaning Mercury is in a sign that it rules, in which it rules Gemini and Virgo respectively. And it's in exaltation. So Mercury is right where it wants to be. It's right, yeah, this is great. This is an amazing place to be. Let me tell you about having a Virgo Mercury. It sucks. Okay. It was a little dramatic. Just a little bit. My language coming out a little bit. But it can suck. It definitely, exaltations, I feel like when I hear them talked about and when I read about them, people are like, oh man, it's so great to have an exaltation because this planet behaves so nicely and brilliantly and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's dignified and yada-da-da-da, and I don't care about any of that because I live with the Virgo Mercury and I know that it's a pain. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate my Virgo Mercury. It actually is a really great thing for me. It's what allows me to be that dude who sits there with all the newspaper clippings and is like, I need answers. I have just imagine a board with a bunch of news clippings here and there's just red yarn connecting everything. That's me. That's my brain. That's how it works. Okay? Or I'm the Sheldon meme and, slamming his head and being like, I don't need sleep, I need answers. That's what it's like to live with a Virgo Mercury. What is chill? Again, I don't know her. I don't know what chill is. I don't know what relaxation is because I have a Virgo Mercury. I am always at a 10. It's either 10 or it's 0. There's no in between. It's just really intense. That could be Pluto being sextile my Mercury. But either way, it's bad. It's insane. And it's intense. Now, I can tell you, like, obviously it's not all bad. And I don't make this video to make you afraid of exaltations. It's more of a, yes, exaltations are great, but here's some drawbacks. Now, I'm an analytical thinker. I'm a very reasoned thinker. I like to be organized. My brain has certain patterns. It recognizes patterns easily. I break down things easily in ways that people can understand. That's what makes me a pretty decent teacher. But makes me a pretty decent psychology student too. But the issue is that with a brain that knows how to analyze and a brain that knows how to make connections between a whole bunch of different things, sometimes things that don't make any sense. Like, look, you're going to be on this channel and there's going to be times where you're like, Jay, how did you even get there? How? How? It doesn't make sense. And then, like, I'm always like, look, I think out loud, I record my thinking. That's how I get a lot of ideas out. And then I sit there, I think about it, and I like want to share it with people, like my mentor Ada. And then I'm like, but does this make sense outside of my brain though? And that's why I think out loud, because I'm like, this might make sense to me because I'm in my brain. I know the controlled chaos that is my Virgo Mercury, okay? But I'm like, will it make sense to others? Because I've got Mercury in the 7th house, so it's really important that what I say makes sense to others. And typically it does. Like, people are like, oh yeah, I see where you're going, it makes sense. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I ask that question literally every single time, because I'm just like, does it? Because my brain just jumps, and I have to go back and figure out what exactly the steps were, and then I have to explain that, and it's a mess, okay? Not only that, but with a brain that makes so many connections, I'm a mess, guys. Like, come on now. Like, I deal with anxiety and racing thoughts and overthinking because my brain's constantly firing off. It's just like, all the time. And it makes it hard to sleep at night. It makes it hard to keep from being anxious when people have medical issues or if there's something going on with them. It's hard to live with. And that's what I want to make a point. Like, what is your greatest strength can always also be your greatest weakness. And that's what an exaltation can be. Honestly, I feel more secure and cool with the signs that are in fall than I do with my Virgo Mercury. Like, my Virgo Mercury can be an enemy as much as it's an ally. Especially because it's opposite Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that's kind of like, imagine like a stern dad who's just like, oh, hey, you can do better than this. You do better than this. You know, and Virgo being that perfectionist sign, and the sign that can see its potential and be like, I'm here, but I know I can be there. Is like, you know what, Dad, you're right. And now I'm going to sit here and feel guilty about everything I haven't ever done and that I should be doing, and yada, 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 yada. Now, mind you, this does not reflect in any way like my personal relationship with my parents. It's just my descriptor, my example for how it works. Because my parents are actually really supportive and tend to be like, Jay, you're being too hard on yourself. That's not what they actually say, because Jay is more of an online moniker, but that's beside the point. I notice a lot and I take on a lot because that's just how I am. I don't know how to relax. You know, Mercury and Virgo rule like the nerves, the nervous system, your anxieties, all those kinds of things. So my brain's constantly like, if I'm not doing stuff, if I'm just sitting and chilling, 9 times out of 10, I've either got about 30,000 tabs open and switching between them because my brain's just like, we're learning a whole bunch of different things at once, because actually relaxing is hard. It's difficult and near impossible sometimes. I say all this as a way of saying that even supposedly good or benefic placements in your chart can be a problem. You know, it's like on the brighter side of my Virgo Mercury, I am an analytical thinker. You know, I'm really great at breaking down things in pop culture and how that connects. I'm great at seeing, like, oh, hey, there's parallels between this story and that story. Or putting together things that people will be like, oh, I wouldn't have put that together, but that actually makes a lot of sense now that you do it. You know, like, I'm really good at that kind of stuff. And I admire it. I love that about myself. I'm a great thinker. It's just that sometimes thinking is a little too much, you know? Sometimes that's why I don't tend to play thinking games. Like, when I play video games, I'm like, let me just go out here and throw hands with people. Like, I'm not trying to, I need to stop thinking. Shut this mind off, please. Where is the off button? And the plot twist is that there is no off button. It's just an on button and an on button, and it's just switching back and forth. There is no off. God help me. There honestly is no off. But that's my story with my Virgo Mercury and how exaltations aren't necessarily always the best thing, or that they don't have downfalls. And I'm not just to say that people just hype it up, but when I hear about it, it's always like in the benefic side of things rather than looking at like the kind of seedy underbelly of what's going on. And so I just kind of wanted to give an alternate perspective, you know, be a little funny, be a little silly, and let you guys see what some of this channel might be about. So I hope that helped. I hope that's given you some level of insight. If it did, let me know in the comments down below. And I see you guys later.